read, I have seen the wicked in great power and spreadeth himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passeth away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, and he should not be found. Either uh, in this psalm, David gives the er, early in this psalm, David gives the same advice that James gives: rest in the Lord and wait patiently on him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in the way, because the man who bringeth wicked uh, devices to pass. Psalms 37, verse 7. That is a tremendous statement, and he speaks of the godless rich. David was troubled by this until he went into the temple and saw that in time God would deal with these people. And that concludes that section. Now we're going to move on to the next section, which is section verses 1 and 2. Verse 1. Before we get there, let's talk. Let's us come now to the text in verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. James chapter 5 and verse 1. In uh, is James speaking to the godless rich in this day, or of some future day? I forgot to get me something to drink. He is giving a warning to the rich in his day, and it has a application for any day, and certainly for our day. James wrote this epistle, we believe, somewhere between AD 45 and 50. Many others now give the date as AD 60. Regardless of the date, the destruction of Jerusalem was in the near future, for in AD 70, Titus of Rome came and destroyed Jerusalem as it had never been destroyed before. He plowed it under. He hated Christians and he hated Jews, and they were and both were in that city. Believe me, when he got through, there were no rich Jews left. They had either been killed or had been put in slavery, and all the riches had been destroyed or lost or confiscated. James can make the strong statements in view of what was coming, for the Lord Jesus had predicted this before his ascension back to heaven. He told his disciples, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the uh, dissolution thereof is nigh. Luke chapter 21 and verse 20. That is fulfilled in AD 70. Verse 2. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. James chapter 5 and verse 2. In light of the coming of Christ, they are uh, warned that all riches in the world will come to naught. This obviously would not impress a godless rich person in that day any more than it would today. However, the rich man knew that the future was uncertain for him, just as many realize that today. There is always a danger of panic, a crash, a drought, or a depression. That has been the order of our day since men started to mint money. There will always be good years and there will always be bad years. Some of us can remember the depression of the early 30s when millionaires by the score leaped out of the windows of skyscrapers, and many rich found that they became paupers overnight. Some former millionaires sold apples at street corners, and uh, gilt edged stocks and bonds in safety deposit boxes were not worth the paper that they were written on. And that concludes that section.